welcome back to another Models by Me video. This time we'll be doing a two-parter of an Airfix dogfight double set. This one being the Nakajima B5N2 Kate, followed by the Grumman F4 Wildcat. Or if you're watching this the other way around, you've seen the Wildcat video and then bounce back onto the Kate video. So we'll do this in the semi-usual manner. We'll have a look at the outside of the box, then the contents, then we'll have a look at the instructions for the Kate, and then the sprues for the Kate. I'm going to put the camera back down again. Here we go. So just a small bit of history on the Kate itself, and I'll just pick the camera back up so you can see it. So first flew in 37, retired at the end of the war basically, was basically just a torpedo bomber. Was very lightly armed. As you can see in the picture here, you got a pilot, bomb or torpedo aimer, radioman, well it's radioman. But he also had the rear machine gun, and in most cases the only machine gun. So these were often paired up with the Val dive bombers, so they would distract people, distract the gunners, and try and put down a little bit of suppressive fire onto the gunners themselves. While the slow torpedo bombers would come in low level and trying to aim the targets with as little fuss as possible. This one clearly didn't work because it has a Wildcat just shooting it down. So let's get on with the next step of this unboxing video. Alright, so the outside of the box. So Airfix red border box tells you it's a dogfight double, and we got nice artwork of the Wildcat and the Kate. Down the side, as per usual, we got the decal options, which only one for each, tells you what it is, and also comes with two brushes, 2 pots of glue, which I don't like using those pots, and all the paints required. These are not the proper paints, these are the tiny little pots like you get in the starter sets, but for the starter set this is a really nice box. They're really good value. So yeah, let's have a look down the side here once I can pick it up. For children over 8 years old, under adult supervision, keep out of reach of children. If you really want to read the warning labels, you can pause that lot. Ooh. Cartograph decals, very nice. We have a mushed corner on this box. I have no idea why that corner is mushed. No idea. So we got the box art, Kate and Wildcat again, and what the set includes. Down the side, everything's upside down. So we have, there you go, brief history on both the Kate and the Wildcat. Wildcat flown by Lieutenant Commander John Fatch, and a Nakajima Kate flown by, apologies on potentially butchering this, Juchi Tominaga from the carrier Hiru during Midway. So, okay, yeah, they're both Midway, so yeah, there we go. If you collect the flying hours, this kit is worth 3 of them. Skill level 2. I will probably agree with that, actually. Oh yeah, we had the mush corner. So there's this corner, which is identical. And the underside of the box, we have nice lovely paint job, showing the Wildcat and the Kate almost actually in the same position they were on the box art as well. One thing they don't ever tell you is how to do all the aerials and stuff on these. That's quite nice to see. But yeah, and being at one of these dogfight doubles, you get a flying stand. Quite literally tells you. At top here, it tells us about the battle midway. So, yep, pause if you want to read that. And let's open the box up and see what the contents are after the title card. Thank you, title card. Right, so contents. We have bag sprue for the Kate. Quite a big plane, this one. Put the Kate over there. We have what's already fallen out. Wildcat sprue. Something felt loose in the corner. It has a pilot. We can do the jelly baby test for those that are watching the Wildcat video. We have an open bag with everything falling out of it. So that's, yeah, these are the little paint pots and the glue. I don't like these glues. What I would do, I got this from another YouTube channel, is put a blob of glue on here and using pretend this is the base of the paintbrush. Not the bristle part, but the actual other side. And I would then scrape it up, and just because I've got the Wildcat at the top here, I will then put it along the bits which need gluing on. Because if you squeeze too hard on this, all the glue will just go blare, and you've just lost everything. Right, what have we got in here? We have instructions with decals in it. There's the flight stand, and one of the paintbrushes that fell out. Something else in there, hold on. Ah, decals. I thought the decals were in the instructions. They must have fallen out. And that is it. So unless... There's the other pot of glue. Only one paintbrush. I wonder where the other one went. Okay, I will tidy this up. And depending on which video you're watching, we will continue with the instructions. So let's have a look at the instructions here. So the top here, we've probably got the same on the outside. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the same as the side of the box art. And the details on the Wildcat and the Kate. And yep, only armed with one machine gun and either a torpedo or bomb. So it could carry a bomb as well. Okie dokie. Right, so this one's the Kate. So let's have a look. Hold on. So we've got details in the other languages. Assembly icons. So we have a red square. This is a new one even for me. Indicates final location. Okay. So phase, cement, do not cement, final location, options, multiples, decals, crystal part, aka clear plastic. Weight. These planes need no weight. Remove, drill, or cut. And 00. No, so it's basically saying if there's a number like that, it is their paint option. And then safety information before going into the Wildcat. And as the Kate, we have to come back to that one later. There is a reason for it. Here's the Kate. So, starters. Right, to drill out holes in the underside of the wings. This is No, don't want that. Okay. It's going to be slightly awkward. Okay, so if you want... You're going to have the torpedo on. So you need to drill out these holes for the torpedo. If you want to put it on the flying stand, you need to drill out these holes. It's also interesting, the torpedo is actually off-center. Bit odd, okay. That's the very first step, because the very next step is wing. But what it doesn't tell you is option. Because this bit just tells you to put clear plastic in there first, and upper wing onto lower wing. The Kate, being an aircraft, being a carrier plane, has folding wings. So if you want that, you must cut the outer wings off first. It'll show you where to cut them off. And then you've got separate pieces, which you then glue onto the inside there. Glue the ailerons on. And back to the original, where you then glue the clear plastic, PVA, into the lower wing section, the upper wing on, and then the additional parts from where you're going to have the wing folded. One page dedicated purely to wings. Well, at least they're being generous there. And thorough. Right. Next we have the cockpit, so that is pilot seat onto the backboard. Will be the bomb aimer and his equipment, plus seat, radio operator, and then machine gun. And this you can have machine gun folded away or out. Refer to step 51 for fitting the gun in the firing position. Step 51? Goes up to step 49. Airfix, you lie. We will have to find out which step refers to having the machine gun in the firing position. Next, glue the radio man seat in, as well as the machine gun rest in. Control columns for the pilot. I would probably assume oxygen bottles for the crew member. Side windows and decal onto the instrument panel. And then you glue that in there and glue the instrument panel into the sides of the fuselage and glue them together. Next step, glue everything together. Glue everything together. Immediately I had a feeling that was coming up before I even saw it on the instructions. So glue the fuselage onto the wings. And then while you're waiting for that to dry, do the tail surfaces. Ooh, posable rudder and ailerons. Very nice. And it even tells you, yep, rudder can go 30 degrees either side, and ailerons. Oh, not ailerons. These are. Those are horizontal stabilizers. Horizontal stabilizers. There we go. Which is interesting because it only goes 30 degrees up, but only 17 down. Doesn't it use this thing for dive bombing? So you can have flaps up or flaps down. So, ooh, I love Airfix always give you this option. And that's for both wings. Spot the mistake there. 3, 2, 1. If you said the aileron is already glued on here and yet it doesn't appear until 2 steps later, you'd be correct. That is weird. Also, it's not red square, as in the instructions, it's red part is where the final location is. So admittedly, I have seen that before, I just never actually read it on the instruction part. Oh, we have what appears to be a very nicely detailed engine. Ooh, very nice. Also looks a little complicated to paint up. Recommend painting these and the exhaust ring all separately before it touching the glue. But then, yep, exhaust ring. Glue the two halves of the engine mount together, and then the air intake. That's one of the paint numbers hiding that, so you've got to paint that 56 before gluing the engine on. And another feature some of these later Airfix kits do, the cooling vents. Do you want them open or closed? Then you glue the cowling onto the front of the engine. Make sure these little holes and the big hole line up with the exhaust and the air intake. Which is what this one's showing here. I don't know why they initially thought about showing the engine in there. And then you glue all that to the front of the fuselage. If you want undercarriage up, there we go. And oh, it has landing gear indicators. So if the landing gear is up, you lop off these little notches. If it's down, you leave them there. So arrestor hook and tail wheel and weighted tires. Ooh, they're good, and they'll be probably like a D shape. I think that's, you can just about see it there. There's a D shape in the wheel, so you line up which struts with the wheels, and with the weight, it does actually appear like it's sitting on the tarmac, and the tires aren't like made of plastic. Landing gear covers there. Glue them on before gluing the landing gear on. Now, what kind of torpedo bomber would be complete without a torpedo? Stares at a certain model in the background. So, yep, torpedoes. This is a weird way of doing it. So, the explosive part, glue the two halves together. The motor part, glue them together, and then glue the motor part to the explosive part. And then glue all that to the fuselage. Normally I always see this is one piece, this is another piece, you just glue top to bottom, done. You might have to do something for the tail, but or the propeller and the fins, but normally that is it. This plane comes with crew members. Which, to be really mean, if you want to glue him in, you have to cut his legs off. Why? The other question. Why this step and not before you put the fuselage onto the wings? That seems like a very odd choice there to say you've got to do all this to assemble the plane. Oh, and by the way, we forgot the crew members. Here's the crew. Got to stick them in there somehow. Except for him, you've got to amputate his legs. Step 51. Glue the gun into the fuselage. That could have been done better as well. I suppose it did say, so if you want to refer, if the other one saying please refer to step 51 if you want the gun in the deployed position, and here's step 51 and the gun in the deployed position. What's this 43 number? Yeah. Now the other option, which was alluded to earlier, canopy, fully closed, with headrest and aerial. Leave it off. Machine gun open. If you want to do that option. Or do you want the thing fully open? There's an option for that as well. So yeah, this is some of the later Airfix kits are really good for this. Like the Stuka as well, that has this as well, where you can have basically the same thing again, fully enclosed, rear machine gun open, which I think in the Stuka is actually just it's not even hatch out. Well, window opens and closes, literally just a machine gun poking through the rear glass window. But yeah, and you can have all the canopies open in different locations. It's really good for that. Not all of them, unfortunately. The Spitfire still, actually the older Spitfire, the Mark 1 doesn't. I think the Mark 5, when we looked at it, did have that option. Next, don't know why I'm having so many problems with this today. P-hole tube onto the wing. Ooh, we have propeller. Okay, this is a weird way of doing it. So, for spinny propeller, you must push the peg through the cone and glue it into the propeller, and then glue that on the front. And there's a nice little guide on how to glue that little bit onto the front of there, and the orientation. Be careful with gluing the peg to the propeller so you don't get any onto the cone here. If you're like me and don't care about spinning propeller, just glue that straight through to that, and then the rest of it's the same. Glue that into the engine, and then if you're having the folding wings, then you put the wings onto it. I gave the Revell Catalina kit problems for the instructions had similar again, where it's just like right at the beginning, quite literally, to I make the wings. The very last step, glue the wings on. I will give Airfix the benefit of the doubt here. I understand why they did it this way round. The wings has to be the very first thing you make on this plane. The very first thing. But to have the folded wing option, you cannot do anything with the folded wings until the very last step. And even then, I would technically still say until after you finish painting the plane. Then you can glue the wings on after you finish painting it. So I will allow Airfix off on that one. And that's it. Finished playing. Deco options, which we got none because it's only the one. But we have this in REF dark green with matte black, gunmetal, aluminium. So I can't say it any other way other than that way. Don't ask me why. Satin coal black and matte beige green, which, correct me if I'm wrong, but Umbro 90, I'm pretty certain in a certain, as I've already alluded to, REF colour scheme, that's known as Sky Type S. I have a Zero that's also painted up in the exact same colour, or will be when I make it. But that's it for the instructions on the Kate. So next up will be the sprues. Alright, let's have a look at the sprues then. So, first one I've got in my hands is the engine sprue. And all that just for the engine. I wonder if this thing came with different engines, hence why Airfix might have done this. But let's have a look at the details. So, starting with the engine itself. There we go. So, not too bad. Some of the lines, like the cooling fins of vent. It's not vents. Cooling fins are a little bit too shallow. You really can't make it out all that well. But yep, it's a dual radio engine, and you have dual radials. On the back here, yeah, you got all the, I would believe this would be the air in, exhaust out. Same with these, and that would line up with the exhaust ring here. So yeah, that's quite nice to see. There's the air intake, so pretty basic. There's supposedly detail on the inside there for the like the grill to stop all the bugs getting in. The cone is, oh no, there is. You can see it more because of the light on the camera there, but yeah, there's a little bit of detail there. Spinner, not too bad. The exhaust is solid, and the fins, not fins, cooling vents are not too bad, quite nice there. Cowling has, there's a line there, you can make it out. There's a panel line there, and that is, it's barely noticeable. If you're painting this thing with a brush, be careful, because there's a good chance you might just fill it in by accident. Those panel lines are quite deep and quite easy to get into, so yeah, those ones not too bad. Those ones on the cowling, bit thin. Okie dokie, let's put you over there out of the way. And the biggest sprue. So we started off with the smallest one, and we're going to the biggest one next. Wings. Fuselage. So let's have a look. So landing gear bays, not too bad. Very basic though. It's not a lot in there. But the rest of the plane, or the wings at least, detail is not too bad. Panel lines, yeah, fairly decent. Yeah, those are quite nice. The flaps are fabric and quite nice there. So okie dokie. Fuselage, which is very nice again there. No rivets. I don't know if the Japanese did use rivets, or well, they had to use something to put the panels on, didn't they? But no, that's not too bad detail wise otherwise. The rudder is fabric and very nicely done there. And that's the horizontal stabilizers, so that's all the tail planes, that's not too bad there. Interior of the wings. So if you want this, if you want the wings cut, you would, yeah, that's, so these indents here are if you want to have, what, to put the extra piece in, so you kind of, it shows like the some of the ribs on the inside. Well, it'd be the rib on the inside at least. But there's a line there, you can clearly see it, and that's what you would cut into to have the wings loose, so you can have them folded over. Other than that, not a lot of other detail here. You see you got all the holes to drill extra stuff into. Considering it was only supposed to be these three for the torpedo. Airfix, are you telling us something with these extra holes? Are you planning something extra? That's the two big holes for the flying stand. Inside of the fuselage is not too bad. You got the frame lines there. Not a lot else on the inside of this. Loads of spare drums, which will be for the machine gun. They're quite shallow. It could be to about the right scale, but a bit shallow there. I think just maybe just a little bit deeper. My personal taste, those should be probably a little bit deeper. But the rest of that, not too bad. And yeah, so the bit I saw in the instructions, if you want the wings folded, you've got to put support arms on so the wings don't bash into the canopy. You need to drill out these two little holes on both sides. And yep, those holes are there. So, okie dokie. Not too bad. Not too bad there. We're going to continue with our thing with the wings. And yep, okie dokie. So, inside of the cockpit, I say continue the wings and I go straight to the cockpit. But that's quite nice. Quite nice detail there. And in fact, we actually got... No, so we haven't got levers, but good representation. Quite nice. And I've also just spotted, I don't know if this is intentional or not, there's a compass. Well, if that's where the point of neutrality is in this plane, might as well stick the compass there. This seems a bit odd, it's right at the back where the radioman would be, but... Upper wings are blowy as anything. There we go. So not too bad. Panel lines, again, quite thin. And same again. So cut down the side of the wing here, and then initially I thought you were given extra pieces for the outside. You're not. So be very careful cutting this down if you want folded wings. Because if you're too messy, then you've just ruined it. There was no spare wings on this plane. You have that sprue, and that sprue, and that is it. Ailerons, fabric covered, quite nice again there. The horizontal flaps are quite nice as well. This is a very nice little kit. Ooh, go on then. Jelly babies. These are not. Those are really nice crew members. I'm just trying to view them off camera as well. And yeah, let's have a look at the other side. Well, at least they didn't put an ejection pin in the usual spot. That makes a nice change. But yeah, other than the no detail on the back, and the fact it's, I think it was his legs you got to lop off, which also happened to be the ones that were the skinniest. They're quite nice. Those jelly babies, those are not. However, I will criticise again. These two are the same, decent sized legs. He's clearly skimped out on leg day. Okay, I appreciate if you're going to have to lop his legs off, A, why mould them in the first place, or B, can you not somehow make the plane and then still have his legs moulded in a way so A, they're decent like this, and B, actually can it fit in the plane and not have to awkwardly, like, say, cut them off. Other than that, really nice crew members. Propeller. Pretty plain and basic on that side. I can't even... Where's the sprue gone? There it is. No, pretty plain and basic on the propeller, I'm afraid. It's not too bad, though. The ribs that go in between the wings, those are really nice, actually. Ooh, yeah, I like those. Landing gear struts are pretty standard. So frame is, yep. These are, I don't know, can't recall where those went, but they're not too bad there. Catch right here, I don't know what they're supposed to go to. Apologies. Rester hook, looks like as soon as you cut it off, it's going to go ping in the carpet monster. We'll get this half, while the top half is still connected to the sprue. Be careful about that, and be careful of the carpet monster. he will get your parts. So you just snip them off the sprue. Machine guns are not too bad. You can actually make out roughly what they're supposed to be. They're like thick as K copies of the thick as K machine guns. The seats are very nice. If you fancy drilling out all those holes, be my guest. The torpedo. Ah, okay. Different torpedoes. Very interesting. Okay, Airfix, I'll let off my comment from earlier. That would explain why you'd have these rear parts differently. They're two different variants. Wheels are very nice. Cut myself off there. The wheels are very nice again there. And is that tread or just... No, just... I thought it might have been like tread or detail there, but no, it's not. It's just the plastic. One of the bombs. So it does come with bombs, this thing. Okay. And the last of the solid plastic. Let's get this on screen on here, so... Excuse me. So, we'll start with the parts we do know. So we've got the cockpit section with the radio. Not sure what that is. That's the rear bulkhead with the where you put the machine gun onto. That's the gun sight, and that's the instrument panel. You're not mistaken, there is no detail on there. That's the landing bay covers, so that's not too bad, quite nice. The rest of that, oh, there's another one of those extra parts for the and there. How many different torpedoes did this thing carry? Wow, okay. I thought that was the instrument panel. I'm pretty certain that's it. Okay. Arms to support the wings. The spinny bit on the front of the propeller. That's a point. Yeah, that has that. And yet... spinny bit. Oh, so if you know your Kate, you can... And you got the decal options for it. Save that for later. Save that for my final thoughts. Loads of little bombs. They're half bombs, okay. And I know those will mount onto the bottom of here, into these bomb racks. And you got another big bomb and a little bomb. So, okie dokie, those are really nice. And the clear plastic, which I haven't opened yet. I don't take much effort at all either. So, how clear is this? So, we'll use the radio as a guide. So, let's have a look. Oh. Oh dear. Okay. Initial thoughts was, oh, that does not fit well at all. But I was also the one which everything opens into it. So, but when you actually go onto the double or even the singles, well, I mean, it's the double where this bit is this part of the canopy folding onto this one, and this one is this opening to there, and that pulling back over to that. But no, that's actually quite nice. So it's still a bit warped, unfortunately. So you're not all this nice detail on the interior, and you're not gonna see it that much, but you will still be able to see it. So let's have a look. Frame lines. So Yep, so the frame lines are fairly decent. You can actually just about make them out there as well. The very stepped canopy there. So yeah, this is actually very nice, nice clear plastic. Okay, let me bag up the Kate and, well, let's have a look at the decals. So, instrument panel, radio, I'm guessing that's the radio or bomb aimer stuff. You could almost guess what those are supposed to be for. That's not too bad. But the rest of the decals are, yeah, they appear quite nice. Some of these, okay, so on the plus side, these ones are not going to silver up too badly. So what I mean by silver is, anybody's put decals on will know, but if you haven't done these bits yet, I'll do these here, because these are going to clearly silver up. Is when you put a decal on, and I think it's when it's got air trapped underneath. The film, as you can clearly see here, between the white lines, this film will basically come out cloudy, almost silver-like, hence silvering. These bits, which I'm guessing go on the flaps, these which are on the tail, and potentially a little bit with these ones as well, I can see all of that silvering up. And the tail details here as well. That's going to be a shame. That's going to be a massive shame. Possibly what you could do is maybe cut these out, the white lines out individually, and then try and put them in place. A lot of microsil on for that. Or a lot of water. Or put it on and then try and cut out the bits in the middle. If you have a very sharp knife, but you also probably damage the paint underneath. Okay, so not... some plus points, some negative points, unfortunately. Okay, sorry. Let me bag these up and final thoughts. So, my final thoughts on the Kate. Yeah, I would say, where it says skill set 2, I would probably say I agree with that. Bit of an odd choice putting the pilots. You got to put the pilots in near the end and not at the beginning when you normally expect them. But the level of detail, very nice detail on this plane. Plus, all the additional options available. So if you know what torpedo goes with what plane, the spinner, if the bombs it carried, and you got the decal options, if you care about the accuracy of some of that stuff at times. The fact that this one kit contains all of that, or if you get the kit separately, it comes with all those options. Definitely, I would say, like some video game companies talk about replayability. You finish the game and you want to go back to it. I'm going to use a similar terminology. The rebuildability of this plane. Oh my god. Canopy open, canopy closed, wings out, wings folded. I've seen many people that do only one wing, this wing out and this one folded, for example. Do you want the canopy where it's just the gunner out, everything closed up, everything open? Torpedo 1, 2, 3, I think, yeah, it's like 2, 3 different options for the torpedo. Do you want the 3 different options of bombs, with a spinner, without the spinner? Honestly, wow. I'm impressed by that. I have not made the Kate yet. So I'm really looking forward to that, actually. And I think it's the biggest monoplane I've got. excluding the Lysander, but I think it's bigger than the Lysander actually, which is going to be interesting to have a look at. So yeah, would really recommend this. It's a really nice plane to look at. For beginner purposes, I would say have the wings out. If you're more advanced, because there's like no room for error, don't do the wings folded until you're a lot more experienced, because let's say there's no wing options. Saying that though, I'm sure if you speak to Airfix's like missing parts department, okay, it's not a missing part, and how would you miss something like 2 big wings missing? But I'm sure if they're potentially willing to say, sorry, I messed up, can I please buy a couple of spare wings? Potentially they'll probably give them to you. So it'd be interesting, has anybody actually done that and asked for like a complete half the fuselage? Interesting to know. Equally, if you have made this, is there any traps to look out for? Is there something like trying to line up the fuselage with the wings actually is a complete pain, or is it just quite quick and easy to put together? Let me know. Hit that like button. Please subscribe for more videos. I will keep my promise. As soon as I hit the 500 subscribers, I will do a build video on one of my bigger planes. I say bigger, and it's either going to be... I'm narrowing down my choices to one of the B25s I've got, the Catalina, that's on the top of my list, or one of my other 2 planes I've got, a German bomber, the Heinkel 177, or a Spitfire Mark 9. Some people are probably thinking, if I said big kit, why did I say a Mark 9? In 32nd scale. Yes, I have a 1/32nd scale model as well. Anyway, please like, subscribe. As soon as we hit those 500, I will do that build video. I've got an idea how I'm going to achieve that. And like, subscribe, and see you on the next one, which will be the Wildcat. See ya!